Overprotective Hiashi, Hinata's father takes on Naruto. Like, share and subscribe. Episode 31. Not good. A touch of fear arose in the heart of this Uchiha member. Awakening the kaleidoscope chakra eye is a very, very proud thing for him, and he feels that he has reached the peak of Uchiha. But he did not expect that even if he has a kaleidoscope, he still cannot pose a threat to Hinata and Uchiha Fugaku. Hinata Hayashi not only sealed his immortal black flame, but also broke his illusion in an instant. And Uchiha Fugaku awakened the kaleidoscope chakra eye earlier than himself, I don't know how many years. A touch of despair appeared in the heart of this Uchiha member. Up. The figures of Hinata Hayashi and Uchiha Fugaku flashed away. Patriarch, I surrender. I am willing to follow you. I'll listen to you in everything. If he hadn't awakened the kaleidoscope chakra eye, this person would not have compromised in any way, but awakening the kaleidoscope chakra eye allowed him to see something else. Some attractions that only come while you are alive. Say it now, it's late. When this person said the insult to Makoto Uchiha, Uchiha Fugaku could not spare his life. In an instant, the three of them collided countless times. Physical skills, ninjutsu, magic. The constant staggering, obviously only three people, but it seems to make this area become a battlefield. Hinata and Uchiha boy. 8 people stood outside, staring closely at the situation inside. So strong. Uchiha's boy glanced at Hinata and said, "Thank you for coming. You're welcome, it's just a fair deal." Hinata looked at the teenager for a year. At a young age, but very sophisticated in doing things, Hinata felt that this person would definitely become a character in the future. If the Uchiha clan and the Hyuga clan become enemies in the future, then this boy may become an important enemy of the Hyuga clan. Do you want to take advantage of this opportunity and kill it by hand? But Hinata immediately held back. Now that Hinata and Uchiha are in a cooperative relationship, provoking a conflict with Uchiha is not good for Hinata, and if the situation is normal, it is impossible for Uchiha and Hinata to be enemies in the next 10 years. What Uchiha needs to be afraid of is Konoha's high level, and Hinata is the same. Two families, with the same enemies. The Uchiha boy seemed to sense something, looked at Hinata, and revealed a smile. Hinata continued to look inside. I thought that my brother's strength was only a little stronger than mine, but now judging from the performance of the elder brother is much stronger than me, and the strength, speed, chakra control, etc., are far above me. This time I go back, I have to strengthen my training. Finally, the battle came to an end. The remaining radical member suffered numerous injuries. Kuwu stab wound, soft fist wounds. The breath of the whole person became extremely weak. In itself, the kaleidoscope riding wheel eye is a very huge consumption. When the Uchiha is used, his eyes often bleed, and when Sasuke Uchiha uses it, the same will be true. This is a side effect of the powerful power brought about by the kaleidoscope chakra eye. No matter who it is, there are no exceptions. Unless promoted to the eternal kaleidoscope blood wheel eye. But the conditions for promoting the eternal kaleidoscope blood chakra eye are extremely harsh. In the entire history of Hokage, there have been 2 pairs in total. One is Uchiha Madara's, relying on a kaleidoscope that fuses Uchiha and Uchiha Sena's kaleidoscope. The other is Sasuke Uchiha, who relies on fusing the eyes of Sasuke Uchiha and Uchiha Itachi. Therefore, many people speculate that promotion is possible only if the eyes of blood brothers are fused. Otherwise, it is impossible to explain why Uchiha Fugaku did not give his eyes to Uchiha Itachi. Uchiha Fugaku, even committing suicide, is willing to do it for Uchiha Itachi. 2 lines of blood flowed from the eyes of this Uchiha member. Unwilling. And at this time, Hinata Hayashi's figure appeared behind this Uchiha member. Soft fist, prick. Hinata's palm turned into a sword, and chakra converged and turned into an extremely sharp sword. Poof. Pierced directly. Pierced through the waist of this Uchiha member. It didn't stop until the internal organs. The explosive power of the soft fist caused the entire internal organs of this Uchiha member to be destroyed. Poof. The Uchiha member fell to the ground weakly. Both eyes widened. Die with a grievance or everlasting regret. Uchiha Fugaku walked to this side, looked at the corpses on the ground, looked around, and was silent for a long time. After that, sighed. Finally, it's over. Looking down, he looked at his hands, which were covered in blood. I know you are better for Uchiha, but you are going the wrong way. I have given you a chance, but you have not cherished it. I don't have a choice. Sorry. Hinata and the others walked in with Uchiha Jr. Patriarch. Hinata looked at the corpse. Episode 32. Uchiha Fugaku noticed Hinata's gaze and frowned. Fugaku, this corpse, I want to take it. Nope. Uchiha Fugaku immediately refused. In an instant, the atmosphere between the two became different. Hinata and the others looked grim. Fuyue, the transaction between us, I will help you solve these people. But the strength of this person is not within the scope of our agreed transaction. Shouldn't I get paid more? Uchiha Fugaku shook his head and said, this person can't do it. I can give you compensation in other aspects. I can give you Hinata one more person. No, 1 person is enough. Hinata Hayashi said, I don't have much interest in you, Uchiha. Akito doesn't say secret words. The ability this person has just shown, I am very interested, so, I only accept this person's body as a trading condition, and nothing else. But if it doesn't work, I can just have 2 eyes. Uchiha Fugaku took a deep look at Hinata. 1 at most. Okay, deal. Hinata smiled. The momentum between the two instantly disintegrated, and it became the state of a partner again. Whether it was Hinata Hayashi or Uchiha Fugaku, it was as if they had forgotten the previous saber rattling. Hinata was stunned for a moment. Immediately, he exclaimed in his heart, "It's worthy of being a brother. Father is right to choose my brother. If I change me, I will definitely not be able to do so." Hinata saw it. What Hinata Hayashi insisted on from beginning to end was the interests of the Hyuga clan, whether it was the cooperation with Uchiha Fugaku or the fight for the corpse. On the opposite side, Uchiha Fugaku is the same. The two never had any friendship. Everything is profit. This is what the ruler of a family must adhere to. For a family, there are only interests, not friendships. Therefore, Hinata Hayashi and Uchiha Fugaku can go from happy cooperation to saber rattling in an instant. And then after the conditions are negotiated, they can change back to a happy state of cooperation. Uchiha Fugaku looked at Uchiha Boy. "Stop the water, go get the props." Yes. Uchiha stopped the water and ran out quickly. "Not often, enter with 2 glass bottles." Uchiha Fugaku came to the body of the Uchiha member. "Hayashi, I can give you this chakra eye, but I hope you can keep it a secret and try not to let too many people know about the existence of this eye." "Of course, I wouldn't be that stupid." Uchiha Fugaku nodded and began to move. Reaching out to the body of the Uchiha member, he leaned over. An eyeball was pulled out by Uchiha Fugaku. After that, it is placed in a glass bottle. Inside, there is a nutrient solution that keeps the eyeball active. Uchiha Fugaku handed the glass bottle to Hinata. "That's the eye you want." Hinata Hayashi took it and glanced at it seriously. At the moment this eye was still in the state of a kaleidoscope, and on it was a pattern similar to a shuriken. Uchiha Fugaku put the other eye into another glass bottle. "Fugaku, then we won't bother much, let's leave first." "Good." Hinata Hayashi and his group quickly left the Uchiha clan station, extremely cautious in the middle. Hinata Hayashi did not want the people of the darkened roots to discover their actions. However, at this point in time, the dark part and the root cannot spare energy. Sarutobi and Shimura Danzo all stared at the position of the Hokage. That's the first thing that matters to them. As for the rest, they can all be back. Uchiha Shursui glanced at Uchiha Fugaku, and then looked in the direction Hinata Hayashi and the others left. "Patriarch, is it really okay to let Hinata's people take that Sharingan? It's just a chakra eye, and Uchiha still loses." Uchiha Fugaku said, "That person's awakening is indeed unexpected, so Hinata Hayashi can seize the opportunity to put forward this condition. And we cannot completely refuse the current situation. That's the deal. If you want to get it, you have to give. In everything, just keep a bottom line. The Hyuga clan got that Sharingan, and it won't affect us the Uchiha clan too much. And there are already people among the foreigners who have the Sharingan." Uchiha Fugaku was talking about Kakashi. The Uchiha clan is very dissatisfied with Kakashi's inheritance of Uchiha Obito's eyes. However, Hokage came forward. Moreover, Kakashi was the son of Konoha's White Fang, so Uchiha Fugaku had to agree. This incident made many of Uchiha's clansmen dissatisfied. Uchiha nodded thoughtfully. "Day difference, you guys go back first, rest early." "Yes." Hinata Hayashi returned home with Sharingan. Ryona Hinata was already asleep, and Hinata didn't want to wake her up, so she went directly to the study. "Writing wheel eyes, just put it on the table." Hinata thinks about what to do with this eye. Episode 33. Eternal Kaleidoscope. In the history of Hokage, only the fusion of eyes between brothers has been produced. Even if I absorb the pupil power of this eye, it is estimated that I will not be able to ascend to the Eternal Kaleidoscope. Moreover, I have a hang-up system, and the Eternal Kaleidoscope is not an impossible thing for me. And even the Eye of Reincarnation, the Eye of Rebirth, can be obtained from the hang-up system. My own strength, I don't need to worry too much. Then this eye can be given to those who need it more. The first name that came to Hyuga Hayashi's mind was Hinata, but thinking of Kakashi's appearance, Hinata Hayashi gave up on this plan. For the route of Hinata's difference, there are better options. Hinata's people, it will be better. After all, Hinata and Uchiha can also be regarded as the same lineage. The rejection reaction will not be so great, and the amount of chakra of the Hyuga clan will be stronger than that of ordinary ninjas. So, to Liana, Hyuga Ryona is an ordinary member of the Hyuga family, but her own strength is not bad, and it is naturally impossible to be too bad to be able to become the wife of the patriarch, and her current strength is particularly tolerant. There will be several times in the chaotic situation in Konoha in the future, and Liana really needs a certain means of self-preservation. After marrying me, Liana spent too much time on the management of the family, and if she transplanted this chakra eye, she could supplement her strength. Hinata Hayashi made the decision. However, we will have to wait until Hinata is born. The Hyuga clan pacified. The Uchiha clan was also pacified. When the internal strife between the two families is resolved, they can concentrate on fighting pressure from the outside. Moreover, the two families are hidden and have a cooperative relationship. It was not easy for Konoha to target the two families again, and at this time, the funeral of Bufeng Shuemen was ushered in. All the ninjas were notified. Bufeng Shuemen did not reign for a very long time, but Bluffing Shui men had performed very well on the battlefield before, and had made a lot of achievements, and, in the position of Hokage, Bluffing Shui men had also done very well. More popular than Ape Flying Sun Chop. A heavy rain, pouring down. Most of Konoha's ninjas, except for those who couldn't walk away, all came to the cemetery. Hinata, Uchiha, Sarutobi, Shimura, Inoka, Inazuka, Kurama, Sarutobi Hinata, Shimura Danzo, Sleeping Koharu, Mito Menyen, 4 people stood at the front. Then came Kakashi. Kakashi, as the only remaining disciple of the Wave Feng Shui Gate, must assume the responsibilities of his junior. Naruto was still too small. Thus, the identity that Kakashi now assumes is the position of Watergate's son. It's like Iruka was on top of Naruto's wedding and acted as a father's position. White bouquets spread around the tombstones. Suddenly, the ape flying sun slashed towards everyone and stepped forward. Watergate's death is a very sad thing for all of us, a pity, and a great loss for us in Konoha. Watergate is Zilei's disciple. Zilei is my disciple. I can't put words into words, this hurt. He's still so young and so good, and under his leadership, I believe that Konoha will definitely get better and better, and push Konoha back to the top. I am convinced of that. However, Watergate is gone, and a village can't be without Hokage for a long time, so I hope that everyone can elect a new Hokage to lead my village and move on. Finish what Watergate left unfinished. Hearing this, Shimura Danzo couldn't help but straighten his chest. In Tuanzang's opinion, there is no suspense anymore. Only yourself is suitable. In terms of comprehensive fame, strength, and contribution to Konoha, among the people present, no one can compare with himself, except for Ape Flying Sun. But Ape Flying Sun Chopper has retired from the position of Hokage. Is it possible to continue to ascend? Pick up your own apprentice's hind foot? This is unrealistic and will make other people's ninja villages laugh. It will make the other ninja villages think that Konoha is gone. Tuanzo gestured to one of his subordinates in the crowd. The time is almost up, recommend my name. Tuanzang was embarrassed to say it himself, so he wanted his subordinates to say it. But, right at this time, suddenly, a figure stepped forward first. Before the subordinate of Tuanzang could react, Narashika 3 generations of adults, the current Konoha, suitable for the successor to the position of Hokage, is really good, and the only ones who meet this condition are Jiraiya-sama and Tsunade-sama. But now, Jiraiya-sama and Tsunade-sama are not in the village, and they will not be able to return to the village for a short time. Therefore, I am bold. 3 generations Sama, please, temporarily preside over the work of Hokage. We can contact Jiraiya-sama and Tsunade-sama, and when they return, choose one of them to inherit the Hokage's position. And before that, please 3 generations of adults, preside over Konoha. For Konoha, Tuanzang's face turned livid in an instant. Episode 34. Danzo looked at Narashika deadly, but he didn't expect Narashikaku to make such a suggestion. Moreover, in the name of Narashika, only Jiraiya and Tsunade are mentioned, and their own names are not mentioned at all. Is it possible that in the eyes of your Narashika, my Danzo is not worthy of being a Hokage? Damn it. Tuanzang's gaze turned to the ape flying sun. Dechop, refuse. You've been in Hokage's place long enough. It's my turn. You know, being a Hokage is my dream. Moreover, my ability is stronger than yours. Sarutobi noticed Danzo's sight, but pretended not to know anything. Instead, he looked at Narashikaku and hesitated. I'm an adult now, and my energy is not as good as before. Let me preside over the work of Hokage. I am afraid that I will not be able to do enough. Narashikaku hurriedly said, the 3 generations have been in the position of Hokage for so many years, and they have done a good job. They really shouldn't have disturbed you 3 generations, and you should have had a good rest. However, there is no way in Konoha now. And as for the energy problem that you are worried about for the 3 generations of adults, I think it can be done in this way. Establish a secretary group, and less important things can be handled by the secretary group. What really matters is decided by the 3 generations of adults. In this way, Konoha's problem is solved, and you will not be too tired of the 3 generations of adults. Elder Mito, Elder Transfer, and Elder Danzo, you can all join the secretary group and help the 3 generations of adults in your affairs. Danzo stared at Narashika, his eyes about to spew fire. Go to your special secretary group. Lao Tzu wants to be a Hokage, but Narashikaku didn't pay attention to Danzo at all. Pig Deer Butterfly is firmly on the side of the ape flying sun chop, so that he will not care much about Tuanzang's thoughts. As long as the ape flying sun chop is there, Tuanzang will not be able to do anything to the Pig Deer Butterfly. Sarutobi showed a hesitant expression. After a long time, finally, the ape flying sun looked up and sighed. Since this is the case, then I refuse again. It is too shirking responsibility. I promised. I'll be taking Hokage's job temporarily, but I'll contact Jiraiya and Tsunade as soon as possible and get one of them back to Konoha to inherit Hokage's throne. Even if they don't agree, we need to train new candidates as soon as possible. Sarutobi Hinata made a small foreshadowing for himself to push Sarutobi Shinnosuke to the throne in the future. A cheer suddenly rang out under the influence of the pig deer butterfly. Hinata Hayashi and Uchiha Fugaku lightly watched the play performed by Sarutobi Hinata and Nara Shikaku, laughing without speaking. This result, Hinata has long known, and Uchiha Fugaku also expected. Tuanzongchi's lungs are about to explode. Sarutobi said, I just temporarily accept the job of Hokage. The induction ceremony is not needed, everything is simple. Konoha has just experienced a disaster. Use the limited resources where it is more needed. 3 generations of adults are so good, really everything is for Konoha's sake. The work that the 3 generations of adults can receive Hokage, it is our Konoha's obedience. Without 3 generations of adults, our village really doesn't know what to do this time. As a result, the funeral of Bluffing Shui Men has completely become a commendation meeting for Ape Flying Sun chopping back to the throne, and no one is mentioning Bluffing Shui Men. It seems that Bluffing Shui Men is no longer important. It didn't even exist. Kakashi's eyes flickered, revealing a dull expression. Is this the village? Father, is your sacrifice really worth it? And you, teacher? But soon, Kakashi converged all expressions. Sarutobi coughed dryly and said, tomorrow I will sort out Hokage's work. I hope you can cooperate with my work as much as possible. Konoha is good, it is really good for everyone. The crowd gradually dispersed. Hinata Hayashi returned to Hinata's house. Hinata Ryona did not come out to greet him. Because it is very close to Hinata Liana's due date, this means that Hinata may be born at any time. The medical ninja is already in place. A member of the Hyuga family, female. I have delivered many people and have a lot of experience. Hinata did not dare to leave such an important matter to anyone else. Tuanzo returned to his office. Bang! A punch slammed into the wall. Click! The bricks on the wall shattered instantly. Tuanzong fist shattered. Blood flows out. But Tuanzo didn't feel it at all. It's too much. Damn it. Damn it. Ape Flying Sun, you damn it. The position of the Hokage, it is obviously mine. Why? Why are you doing this? They're all retired. Why are you still fighting with me? Why do you have to go against me? You know how much I long for the position of Hokage. This is my last hope, but you still ruthlessly deprive me of hope. Partner? Friends? Humph. It is clearly the enemy. From today onwards, Ape Flying Sun, you are my life and death enemy. One person walked in and glanced at Tuanzong with great fear. Master Tuanzang, blame me for speaking too slowly. I didn't expect Lujio that they would actually take the lead. This person is the trust that Tuanzo arranged for himself. Tuanzong glanced at the man coldly. No, you're too slow? Then go and die. Episode 35. Tuanzong vented all his anger on this subordinate. Bang, bang, bang. 1 punch, 2 punches, 3 punches. Without taking any complicated moves, he directly slashed this subordinate to death with his fists. All the way until, not in shape. In the end, it was completely impossible to see what this person looked like. Tuanzong took a deep breath and calmed his mood. Come on, clean up. Yes. The two walked in and took the body away, cleaning up the bloodstains on the ground and on the walls. Tuanzo sat in a chair and closed his eyes. It took a long time before he opened his eyes. Hinata, I know your plan. Neither Jiraiya nor Tsunade can come back to Konoha to inherit the Hokage. Tsunade has been disappointed in Konoha, and now lives a life of a drunken gambling club. And since the beginning, I have not thought about inheriting the position of Hokage. Your real purpose is not the two of them. It's someone else. Your son, Sarutobi Shinosuke. Shinosuke, I should have thought that this little fart who followed behind my ass and called me uncle is now a full-fledged ninja. And he will even grab things with my uncle. That's nice. A look of resentment flashed in Tuanzang's eyes. Now Shinosuke is still a little worse in terms of strength and seniority, so you will choose this method to help Shinosuke by a few years. In the coming years, you will definitely work hard to help Shinosuke increase his reputation. After that, you say again, Jiraiya and Tsunade do not decide to come back, and you yourself are short of energy, want to retire from Hokage's position, and recommend Sarutobi Shinosuke. Then, Shinosuke can smoothly ascend to the throne. Very good plan. Hinata, are you trying to turn Konoha into the Konoha of your Sarutobi family? Tuanzang's face became very cold. Have you ever wondered how unfair this would be to me? Don't you feel guilty when you do this? Humph. If you are unkind, don't blame me for being unrighteous. I won't kill you. I'll kill Shinosuke. Let you watch your son, your own hope die. That is the real pain for you. Hinata, don't blame me. It's your own making. You hurt Shinosuke. Danzo made some kind of decision. Hokage building. In the Hokage office, there are only 2 people, Sarutobi Hinata and Nara Shikahiza. 3 generations of adults. This is the current situation in Konoha. Uchiha recently, it seems that something has happened. After the Nine Tails rebellion, Ape Fairy frowned. What's going on? Uchiha suddenly disappeared some people, and these people seem to be those who do not have a good relationship with Uchiha Fugaku. And Uchiha Fugaku cleaned up the inside. Clean up? Sarutobi Hinata's expression tightened and said, is this the case with the Hyuga clan, and is the Uchiha clan like this now? This is not a good thing for Konoha. Their talent is often Konoha's trouble. 3 generations of adults. Are there any measures we are going to take? Do they have any other moves besides this? Nope, then don't move. Ape Flying Sun Chopper said, by the way, how is the situation over there? Probably, very angry. Ape Flying Sun sighed. It's normal to be angry. Tuanzo has coveted this position for countless years, and this time, it was the one he hoped for the most, and in his opinion, it was I who took his hope. But he really, not fit to be Hokage. Ape Fei's eyes flickered. Tuanzang and the Uchiha family have certain contradictions, and most of the policies of the second-generation adults against Uchiha are implemented by Tuanzang. But they can use Uchiha to check and balance Tuanzang. That's right, that's it. Use Uchiha and Danzo to contain it, and as for Hinata, for a while, the Hyuga clan can't make any trouble, and the pig deer butterfly is enough to suppress Hinata. However, the relationship between the Hyuga clan and the oil girl and the two families in Izuka must be interrupted and cannot be further united. The Hyuga clan, for the time being, you need to isolate first. Narashikahisa nodded. 3 generations of adults said so. In this way, Konoha can achieve a relatively balanced state. Hinata Hiashi is sitting in the backyard for training. Suddenly, an exclamation sounded. Hiashi. It was Ryona Hinata's voice. Hinata immediately thought of something. Chestnut Senpai, Liangna, she's about to give birth. Hinata Kuriko immediately went to the room where Ryona Hinata was. Patriarch, please rest assured, I will definitely let your child be born smoothly, and Liangna will not have any risks. Please, Chestnut Senpai. Hinata did not enter, but was at the door. Hearing the movement inside, Hinata suddenly became nervous. Very nervous. It's a feeling that has never been felt before. Episode 36. Hinata walked in from the outside. When he saw Hinata, he was stunned. He had never seen Hinata like this. Brother, what's wrong? Your sister-in-law is about to give birth. Really? That's great, and the mother and child will be safe. Hinata understood. When Ninji was born, Hinata was in the same mood. Brother, do you already want the child's name? I've already thought about it, so it's called Hinata. Hinata, is this a girl's name? Yes, I want her to be a girl. Hinata Hiashi said, if not, then it's good to think again. Suddenly, the door opened. Hinata Chestnut walked out from inside. Clan elder, congratulations, mother and daughter are safe. Hard work. Hinata looked overjoyed and hurriedly walked towards the room. And Hinata and Hinata Chestnut are outside. After Hinata Hiashi enters, gently close the door. Liana, hard work on you. Ryona Hinata was lying on the bed, and next to it was a small baby. Newborn babies, ugly. But Hinata felt that this was the best-looking baby in the world. No, this is my duty as a wife. Hinata glanced at the little baby next to her and said, Husband Kuan, as you wish, it is indeed a daughter. Hello daughter. Hinata reached out and took Ryona's hand, and with the other hand, lightly touched the baby's forehead. Hinata, that's your name. I am your father. This one next to it is your mother. From today onwards, you must remember to be filial to your parents. Ryona Hinata glanced at Hinata with disgust and said, Hinata has just been born. Husband Kuan, you tell her this. She can't understand. She is still so young. It's okay if you don't understand. I'll always talk to him. There was a knock on the door. Bang bang. Hinata came to the door. Clan elder, I'll help Liana and Hinata clean up first. Both of them are tired. It's better to rest first. Hinata nodded. Well, you're good at this. Listen to you. Then I'll go out first. Don't get in the way here. Hinata walked out of the room and came outside, looking at Hinata. Hinata, are you looking for me for something? Brother, regarding the cooperation with the oil girl and Inuzuka, we may not be able to proceed for a while. What do you mean? I contacted the people of Inuzuka and Hinata, and the information they revealed was that it seemed to be Naruto-sama's meaning. Hinata frowned. Ape flying sunslash? Yes. It is clear that we need to balance the Uchiha clan. Why did they start targeting us? Hinata again? Hinata thought for a moment. Could it be that Tuanzo moved too much, and Ape Flying Sun Chopper wanted to use Uchiha to balance Tuanzo? Afraid that we will take advantage of the opportunity to grow, so they restrict us? Hinata Hiashi felt that this was very possible. Since Sarutobi Hinata revealed the news, then the cooperation with the oil girl in Izuka will be stopped for the time being. But you tell us that we Hyuga clan are always welcome to cooperate with them. Yes. How is the training of the elite squad going? The gap has been slowly separated, and there are 3 people who are improving faster than the others. Hinata nodded and said, in that case, let's divide the classes. This is elite education. There is no need to consider the situation of all personnel equally. Don't delay the progress of the excellent ones. Yes. Hinata glanced outside. Brother, then I will leave first. Okay, let Ryoyoshi come in. Yes. After a while, Hinata left and Hinata Ryoyoshi came in. Hiashi-sama. Ryoyoshi, what I told you last time about the collection of ninja tools, how did it go? I've collected quite a few explosive charms. What about the situation over there in the artisan village? I found out a little news. Hinata Ryoyoshi said, however, the craftsman village now exists in name only. Only some old, weak, sick and disabled, powerful ninja tools and craftsmen, none of them exist. Those craftsmen, it seems to have disappeared. Disappeared? It is impossible. It must be where to hide. Continue to investigate. In their hands, there are still some ninja tools that are not bad, and they have a good help in the battle. Yes, go down. Hinata didn't bother Ryona. An old man came to the gate of the courtyard. Clan elder, the honor garden has been built. Do you want to go over and take a look? Clan elder. Good. Hinata Hiashi is not interested in this, but the superficial work still has to be done. This is a qualities that a superior person needs to have. The territory of the Hyuga clan is not small. After the last attack, Hinata had cleared the woods and turned it into a flat road. By horse-drawn carriage, arrived directly. On the left is the cemetery of the Hyuga clan, and on the right is the Garden of Honor. Patriarch. The moment Hinata got out of the car, everyone looked over. Episode 37. The honor garden is neat and flat, there is nothing superfluous, just a flat land, and at this moment, on the flat ground, a stone tablet has been erected, and some names are carved on the stone tablet. These are the Hyuga clansmen who died in the Ninetales Rebellion. Below is an introduction to the deeds, explaining the time and place of the Ninetales Rebellion clearly. An old man looked at the stone tablet and was very moved. These people, it's worth dying. It is a supreme honor to be remembered by the entire Hyuga clan. It's really good that Hiashi can think of this. The people of the Hyuga clan have a very respectful attitude towards the patriarch. The main reason is that the bird spell mark in the cage, if you don't respect it, you can't do it, and the other party can take your life with a single thought. And for Hinata Hiashi, at first, many people were not very satisfied with Hinata Hiashi as the patriarch. However, some time ago, Hinata's strength directly made most people submit. The existence of the company elder group, which could almost compete with the patriarch before, directly fell apart under the operation of Hinata and became the reference group of the patriarch. He is also responsible for monitoring the Hyuga cadres. Most people, for Hinata, are more afraid. However, because of the disappearance of the elder group, many people from the divided family have benefited, and coupled with the appearance of the Garden of Honor, everyone has more reverence for Hinata. It is better to choose the day than to hit the sun, and tomorrow there will be a giant memorial ceremony. When the time comes, I will come in person. The families of these people all come, and as for the others, those who are willing to come can also come. These people are the martyrs of our Hyuga clan. The elder nodded repeatedly. Patriarch, please rest assured, we will definitely arrange it. Hinata Hiashi returned home. Uchiha Fugaku and Uchiha Mikoto sat on opposite sides of the table. Uchiha Itachi and Uchiha Sasuke are already asleep. Fugaku, the situation of our Uchiha clan should already be better now, right? Better. Uchiha Fugaku nodded and said, without those radicals, Uchiha's situation is much more stable now, and my orders can basically be carried out. In this way, I no longer have to worry about internal messes, and I can concentrate on fighting external pressure. Sarutobi Hinata's succession to the position of Hokage is a good thing for us Uchiha. One is the contradiction between Shimura Danzo and our Uchiha clan, which has existed for a long time, and has lasted too long, and it is impossible to reconcile. Once Tuanzong takes office, we Uchiha clan may have to face more pressure. And now, the ape flying Sun Chop is back on the throne. Tuanzong must be very dissatisfied with the ape flying Sun Chop. Then, the ape flying Sun Chop needs us to balance the strength of the group song. The roots of Danzo are not weaker than a ninja family, or even stronger. Balance, I have the method to secretly develop the Uchiha clan. When I develop the Uchiha clan to a point where no one can easily deal with it, we Uchiha clan can be considered truly safe, whether or not we continue to stay in Konoha. Uchiha Fugaku suddenly looked into the room inside. Uchiha Mikoto followed Uchiha Fugaku's gaze. Fugaku, you mean? That's right, I'm referring to the weasel, and the water stop. Uchiha Fugaku said, among the people of the previous generation, those with excellent talents no longer exist, and the remaining elder group strength is at most only upper patience, ordinary upper patience. And among my generation, I am the only one who has reached the top of the upper patience. Therefore, I can only put my hope above the next generation. The talent for stopping water is very high, and I even have a hunch that the future stop may be above me, and the talent of the weasel will not be weaker than stopping the water. Both of them will become the support of our Uchiha. It's hope for the future. Uchiha Mikoto asked subconsciously, what about Sasuke? I don't know, Sasuke's age is too young after all. Uchiha Fugaku shook his head, and suddenly, looked in the direction where the Hyuga clan was. Mikoto, almost, it's time to send Mitsuki to the Hyuga clan. It's late, I guess there will be an opinion on the Hinata side. Mikoto Uchiha nodded. Mitsuki is ready at any time. Okay, then I'll send Mitsuki over tonight. Good. Night enveloped the whole world, and Konoha fell into total darkness. Reach out for 5 fingers. It was a moonless night. 2 figures appeared near Hinata's courtyard. Phew, a shuriken shot in. Hinata Hiashi opened her eyes. Is it Fugaku? It seems that the agreement has been fulfilled. Hinata opened the courtyard door. 2 figures walked in. Hiashi, this is Uchiha Mitsuki. Hinata looked at the woman next to her. Covering his face, Hinata couldn't see what he looked like. From today onwards, Mitsuki will be your Hinata's person. But I hope Hiashi can treat Mitsuki well. Mitsuki is Mikoto's sister, and this time, she came voluntarily. Episode 38. I will. Hinata nodded. Uchiha Fugaku looked at the woman next to him and said, Mitsuki, then I'll leave first. Yes, brother-in-law. Uchiha Fugaku felt a little guilty. Come in. After Uchiha Fugaku left, Hinata Hayashi walked in with Uchiha Mitsuki. Den, are you Makoto's own sister? Yes. Then you should be well aware of the content of my deal with Fugaku, right? Yes, from today onwards, I will be Hinata's person, and I will obey your arrangements in everything. Hinata nodded and said, It's not that I don't trust you, it's just that all members of the Hyuga family, except for the patriarch and the patriarch heir, need to portray the caged bird spell seal. I hope you understand that. Uchiha Mitsuki's expression struggled for a moment, but he nodded anyway. Depicting the caged bird spell seal, everything in Uchiha Mitsuki must be controlled by Hinata Hayashi, and Hinata Hayashi can make Uchiha Mitsuki die with just one thought. This is what Hinata Hayashi planned from the beginning. The person sent by Uchiha would not think that he could make the other party completely loyal to him by virtue of his personality charm alone, which was unrealistic. And even if it can, it will take time. But using the caged bird spell seal, this effect can be achieved directly. Then, I'm going to put a spell mark on you now. Relax, don't resist, otherwise you may cause permanent damage to your brain and become an idiot. Uchiha Mitsuki nodded. Hinata covered the top of Uchiha Mitsuki's head. A burst of chakra condensation. After that, a pattern appeared on Uchiha Mitsuki's forehead. Caged bird, spell seal. That's it. Uchiha Mitsuki looked at Hinata with a complicated expression. Coming to Hinata's house was indeed voluntary by Uchiha Mitsuki, because Uchiha Mitsuki wanted to do something for the Uchiha clan. By the way, from today onwards, your name will be Hinata Mitsuki, Uchiha surname. Don't use it anymore, usually try not to show the chakra eyes. Yes, it's not early, you go to rest, I'll take you to the guest room. Hinata Hayashi took Mitsuki Hinata to the guest room, and then returned to her room. Ryona Hinata had fallen into a deep sleep. Hinata's eyes were closed, as if he was dreaming, and his two small short hands waved around. Hinata smiled and pinched Hinata's face, and then covered her with the quilt. Unlike most noisy little babies, Hinata is quiet as soon as she is born. This tenderness seems to have been carried since birth. What a good boy. Following, Liana, there is something I want to talk to you about. Hinata Hayashi briefly mentioned his deal with Uchiha Fugaku. Ryona Hinata's eyes widened slightly. That means that this Uchiha person will stay with us Hinata in the future? Yes. Hinata nodded and said, now her name is Hinata Mitsuki. Rihanna, you have to keep this matter secret and not let anyone other than the two of us know. Externally, you said that she was a member of our family who was lost outside Konoha, and only recently returned to Konoha. Ryona Hinata nodded. Okay, Ryona Hinata doesn't know what Hyuga Hayashi wants to do, but Ryona Hyuga will absolutely support Hyuga Hinata. This is Ryona Hinata's tenderness, and the inheritance of Hinata comes from this. Hinata's personality is not gentle. The two of them warmed up for a while, before walking out of the room. The next person has already prepared breakfast. Ryona, you go and ask Hinata Mitsuki to come over for breakfast, and I'll report to Hinata to come out. Yes, husband Kuin. Ryona Hinata walked to the guest room, knocked lightly on the door. The door opens. A woman appeared in Hinata's line of sight. So beautiful. Ryona's heart moved slightly. You're Mitsuki, right? I am Hayashi's wife, Ryona Hinata. Sister Liana is good. Mitsuki Hinata was also looking at Ryona Hinata. The whole person exuded a gentle aura, and Hinata Mitsuki felt that Ryona Hinata and her sister were somewhat similar to each other. This made Hinata Mitsuki suddenly feel a little more familiar. The anxiety I felt because I came to an unfamiliar environment calmed down a bit. Breakfast is ready. I'll take you to the washing place. After washing, we'll go to breakfast. Hinata Mitsuki nodded. Thank you, Sister Liana. You're welcome. This is what I should do. Not long after, Ryona Hinata took Mitsuki Hinata into the restaurant. Hinata had already sat down, and Hinata on the stroller next to him had woken up, his eyes open, and he looked around curiously. Husband, here we are. Hinata looked up. Suddenly, the pupil shrank sharply. It's so much like that. Hinatsu looked at Hinata Mitsuki and found that Mitsuki Hinata and Mikoto Uchiha looked almost identical. There is no difference. Episode 39. Hinata Mitsuki's appearance gave Hinata a strange feeling. Soon, Hinata shook her head. Mitsuki, your image, you need to change it. You are so similar to Uchiha Mikoto. Once someone else sees you, this person will definitely doubt your identity if they have seen Uchiha Mikoto. Hinata Mitsuki nodded. I'll change it now. Forget it now, let's eat breakfast first, and when breakfast is cold. Hinata Hayashi said, now that you are a member of the Hyuga clan, I hope you can act like a real Hinata person, not Uchiha and Hinata, understand? Hinata Mitsuki looked grim. I see. With the rise of the ape flying sun, one policy after another was issued. The influence of the wave feng shui gate is constantly being removed. This is why, at the beginning of the official plot, everyone has a very vague memory of the previous Hokage, whether it is the Thousand Hands Pillar, and the wave feng shui gate. 12 years ago, really don't remember anything at all? No way. Konoha didn't all die 12 years ago. It is also said that the 3 generations of Hokage are the strongest Hokage in all generations. As long as it is a normal person, it will not think so. 1 generation and 2 generations, which is not better than the ape flying sun. The wave feng shui gate is also stronger than the ape flying sun / flying thunder god plus spiral pill. That's to put a ball in your mouth in a thunderous way. In front of Hinata, there was a stack of information. The purpose of the ape flying sun, so it seems obvious. Use your time and power, the powerful ape flying family, and the pig deer butterfly. Use Uchiha to check and balance the Danzo. Isolating Hinata. Attract small families. Push Sarutobi Shinosuke to the top. As a result, if Sarutobi Shinosuke does not die, Konoha will become the Konoha of the Sarutobi clan, and there will be Sarutobi asthma after Sarutobi Shinosuke. For decades, Konoha will be controlled by the Sarutobi clan. Hinata closed the page. But what Sarutobi didn't expect was that Sarutobi Shinosuke would die in the process of mission execution. Wait. Hinata suddenly frowned. Isn't the death of Sarutobi Shinosuke an accident? Hinata Hayashi felt that this was very possible. Let me think about it. The one who has the biggest opinion about Sarutobi Shinosuke must be Danzo, because this cuts off Danzo's last hope of becoming a Hokage, and with Danzo's character, he will make such a decision. Sarutobi Shinosuke is dead, and Ape Fei Chopper can only cultivate Ape Fei asthma, but asthma lacks character and ability and needs more time. At this time, the Great Snake Pill invaded Konoha, causing the death of the ape flying sun. Tuanzong didn't mean to come out to help. The whole process, watching the play. No, it is possible that the Great Snake Pill invaded Konoha, and Danzo also provided help, and these 2 people have cooperated many times. Hinata thought quickly. In the middle, the regiment was hidden in the process of fighting with the Uchiha clan and won the victory. That is, it took the eye of the water stop, leading to the suicide of the water stop. The Uchiha clan was destroyed. Only when the ape flying sun / will the Hyuga clan end the isolation of the Hyuga clan, let the Yaogro clan and the Inuzuka clan lean on the side of the Hyuga clan in the past, and form a new force that confronts the Danzo. The emergence of Uchiha Obito is just a catalyst. Even without Uchiha Obito, things will be the same. Hinata's eyes flickered. Because of my appearance, the Hyuga clan has changed, and the Uchiha clan has also changed. But I can't continue to look at the world according to the previous plot. But those few fixed things will still happen. Hinata looked in the direction where the land of thunder was. Yunin village's covetousness for white eyes, and what he did made Hinata very dissatisfied. Anyone who dares to do something to my daughter must die. But this time, I can't hand over the day difference. Ape flying sun, this time, I don't know what kind of choice you will make. Hinata enters the room. Liana, there's something I want to tell you. What's going on? Hinata Hayashi glanced around, lowered his voice, and said, I got a Sharingan from Fugaku's hand, and I hope to use the power of this Sharingan on you. Me? Ryona Hinata subconsciously refused. Husband Kuan, I don't participate in the battle. It's too wasteful for me. And I already have a blank eye. Hinata Hayashi shook his head and said, this Sharingan is not the same, and the power it possesses is not comparable to that of ordinary Sharingan. Then I can't ask for it. Give it to other people who are more suitable. Ryona Hinata still refused. Ryona, I made this decision. I seriously considered it. The situation in Konoha is very unstable. I need you to have enough self-preservation ability, even if it is not for you. For Hinata, you need stronger strength, isn't it? When Hinata said this, Ryona Hyuga suddenly had no reason to refuse. Good. Episode 40. The transplantation of the riding wheel eye. Definitely not many people know. This thing, there are too many red-eyed people. Once it is known by others, Uchiha Fugaku's side will also have an opinion. Hinata Chestnut, 2 people are enough. After making this decision, Hinata immediately began to act. And there was no need to delay this kind of thing. Ryona Hinata's body has recovered. The chakra I soaked in the nutrient solution is not sure whether it will lose strength over time. Liana, are you ready? Okay. Hinata glanced at the glass tube next to her and nodded. Originally, Ryona Hinata didn't want to transplant this eye. For strength, Hyuga Ryona does not have much pursuit. What Hyuga Ryona pursues is to be a good wife who is virtuous, let the Hyuga family flourish, and raise her children to grow up. This is what Ryona Hinata thinks. Very simple. However, Hinata Hayashi knew that in the future, the Hyuga clan would face a huge crisis, and the Cloud Shadow Emissary stared at the white eyes of the Hyuga family. Because of the caged bird spell seal, it was ineffective to seize the corpse of the split family blade. Therefore, they targeted the Zone family. But Hinata, the strength is not bad. They were targeting Hinata's daughter. Hinata Hayashi is sure that the Cloud Shadow Messenger of this world will definitely do something similar. But there is no guarantee that he will be just like Hinata Hayashi in the original book. Therefore, Hinata, to improve Hinata Liana's strength. In this way, the plan of the Cloud Shadow Emissary to steal Hinata can be completely cut off. Chestnut Sr., trouble. Hinata nodded. An operation officially begins. This operation may be more complicated in other worlds, but in the Hokage world, it is a relatively common and relatively low-risk operation, because chakra can play a very important role in this process. Uchiha changed Sasuke's eyes, and even a person who assisted from the side didn't need it, so he changed it himself. And it was also a case of serious injury. Danzo can even have multiple eyes embedded on his arms and remain active. All this proves that changing eyes, in the Hokage world, is just a minor operation. However, Hinata Hayashi is still watching it for the first time. First take out one of Hinata's eyes, then clean the eye socket, and then put the kaleidoscope chakra eye back. Nakato Hinata Chestnut constantly uses chakra to clean, judge, tempt. Phew, patriarch, it's done. Hinata Chestnut touched the sweat on her forehead. Don't take off the gauze for these 3 days, and after 3 days, you can take it off. Hinata Chestnut pointed to the gauze on Hinata Rihanna's left eye. Also, don't eat spicy, irritating things, focus on a light diet. Hinata nodded. Got it, thank you Chestnut senpai. Then I'll take my leave. Good. Ryona Hinata opened her other eye. Husband, can you give me a mirror? Of course. Hinata Ryona looked at herself in the mirror, hesitated, and said, Husband Kuan, will I become different? It won't. When the chakra eye is not in use, it is the same as the eyes of a normal person, and in addition, I have prepared this for you. Hinata Hayashi took out something. What is it? A kind of glasses, worn on the eyeball. After outsiders see, your eyes will look the same, will be the same as the white eyes before, will not attract attention. Outsiders transplanting the Sharingan will have several problems. For example, it cannot be turned off. Kakashi is for this reason, and chakra is seriously inadequate. It can be said that the Sharingan made Kakashi, but it also hindered Kakashi. If Kakashi inherited his father's sword skills, maybe he would be more powerful than copying ninjas. The second is that it is impossible to maximize the ability of the Sharingan. But none of this is a problem for Hinata Rihanna. The Hyuga family's control over chakra is to the extreme. Ryona Hinata can point points inside her body and block the chakra acupuncture points leading to the eyes, so that without the flow of chakra, the Sharingan naturally cannot keep the eyes open. And when you need to use it, open the acupuncture points and let the chakra circulate. This is the advantage of the Hyuga family. As for the problem of not being able to give full play to the ability of the eyes 100%, this is not very important to Hinata Liana, who really relies on white eyes and soft fists to fight. It's just that the existence of the chakra eye can play a good auxiliary role. Let the other party not expect. 3 days later, Ryona Hinata removed the gauze above her eyes. Liana, how's it going? It feels weird, but it's okay. Ryona Hinata looked at herself in the mirror. One white eye, one chakra eye. Husband, I want to try the ability of this eye of mine. Okay, let's go to the backyard. Hyuga Mitsuki has gradually adapted to the life of the Hyuga family, and has changed a lot in dressing, and will not let people look at it again, just like seeing Makoto Uchiha. Training ground. Hinata Hayashi and Ryona Hinata stand side by side.